Welcome back. Second act, first date over 40 and awkward, episode number 20. We're diving into something a lot of you have been swiping right on in our DMs. Finding love after 40. You sent in this article, The Astonishing Odds of Finding Love After 40. And let me tell you, the title alone is giving me life.
What's fascinating here is that this isn't just wishful thinking. Like, societal views on love and relationships are shifting, and technology is playing a big role in making love after 40 more attainable.
Okay, so let's unpack this article. It starts with by tackling some of those dusty old myths about love later in life. Like, remember that whole over-the-hill narrative? So not true.
Right. The idea that you're supposed to have your love life figured out by a certain age is just outdated. People evolve, circumstances change, and love can blossom at any stage.
And this article isn't just all sunshine and rainbows. It does point out that stereotype that finding love after 40 is less likely. But then it throws down some serious statistics that blow that myth out of the water.
A significant number of people are finding love later in life. And it's not just about settling or filling a void. The article highlights how emotional maturity plays a huge role in creating deeper connections and more fulfilling relationships.
I love how the article puts it, a wealth of life experience. It's not just about the years, it's about what you've learned, the growth you've gone through, and how that shapes your approach to relationships.
Exactly. You bring a different level of self-awareness and understanding to the table after 40. You know yourself better, you're clearer about your needs and boundaries, and you're not afraid to communicate them.
And let's be real, past relationships, even the messy ones, they've taught us a thing or two. It's not about carrying baggage, it's about those hard-earned lessons informing what we want and don't want in a partner.
Absolutely. Reconciling the past is crucial. Before jumping into new romances, you've evolved, you've learned, and you're bringing that wisdom to the table.
Okay, so for anyone out there who's over 40 and feeling like maybe the love train has left the station, hold on. This statistic blew my mind. Nearly 50% of individuals aged 40 and older are still looking for love. That's a huge dating pool.
And it's not just about wanting a relationship. A Pew Research Center survey found that a significant portion of adults over 40 have used online dating, and a good chunk of them have found committed relationships that way. Technology is changing the game.
Hold up. We've dropped some serious knowledge bombs here. Before we go any further, let me just remind everyone to check out secondactfirstdatepodcast.com. You'll find show notes, links to all the research we're diving into, and even a place to share your own over 40 dating stories. We love hearing from you.
Right. Because let's face it, statistics are interesting, but real-life stories are what make this whole thing feel real, relatable, and hopeful. The article shares some awesome examples, like Emma finding love at a book club, and Mark connecting with a travel buddy online.
It's like a reminder that love can literally be anywhere. You could be browsing the romance section, planning your next adventure, and bam, connection.
And what these stories highlight is that it's not just about looks at this stage. It's about shared interests, genuine connection, and finding someone who gets you on a deeper level.
Totally. And speaking of getting you, this article doesn't shy away from the challenges either. I mean, dating after 40 isn't always a walk in the park, right?
One of the biggest hurdles the article points out is societal pressure. You know, that whole unspoken expectation that by 40, you should have certain life milestones checked off. Career, house, family, and of course the perfect relationship.
Ugh, that invisible checklist, like, congratulations on turning 40, here's a side of societal judgment with your birthday cake.
Right, and that pressure can mess with your self-esteem, especially when you're comparing yourself to others. You start thinking, am I behind? Am I doing this whole life thing wrong?
Totally. And then there's the whole dating with children situation. The article touches on that. And it's a whole other layer of complexity, especially for those of us who are co-parenting or navigating blended families.
It adds a whole new dimension to dating. You're thinking about your kids' feelings, how to introduce a potential partner, and making sure everyone feels comfortable. Communication and setting boundaries are crucial.
No kidding. I mean, imagine trying to explain Tinder to your teenager. It's a minefield.
Right. The key is open and honest communication with both your kids and the person you're dating. It's about finding a pace that works for everyone.
Speaking of navigating the dating world, the article dives into the world of technology. And it's amazing how much has changed. Like, remember when online dating was basically just a Craigslist personals ad with a slightly better design?
Now we have apps and websites specifically designed for the over 40 crowd. The article mentions Match.com and eHarmony for those seeking compatibility, and platforms like Our Time and Silver Singles that cater to a more mature demographic.
Okay, so those sound promising, but I know a lot of people, especially those who haven't dated in years, are a little apprehensive about online dating. Any tips for staying safe and avoiding those catfishing nightmares?
Absolutely. The first rule of online dating, be selective about what you share. No need to spill your entire life story on your profile. Start with the basics, and as you get to know someone, you can gradually reveal more.
Makes sense. And what about meeting up in person? Any safety tips there?
Always meet in a public place for the first few dates. Let a friend know where you're going and who you're meeting. And most importantly, trust your instincts. If something feels off, don't hesitate to cut the date short.
That's all great advice.
Huh?
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's so much more to unpack. We'll be right back after a quick message. To dive deeper into the world of love after 40, stay tuned.
And we're back diving deeper into the astonishing odds of finding love after 40. Before the break, we were talking about online dating safety, and I want to emphasize that it's just one avenue for meeting people. Don't discount the power of real-life connections.
All right, put down the phone and look up. The article really stresses that point. Enriching your social life through clubs, workshops, volunteering, it's not just about finding a date, it's about creating a fulfilling life. That attracts those connections organically.
Exactly. Think about it this way. You join a hiking group. You're not only getting fresh air and exercise, but you're also potentially meeting people who share your love for the outdoors. Shared interests are a fantastic foundation for any relationship.
It's like you're setting yourself up for success by being in environments where you're genuinely excited to be, regardless of whether you meet someone special or not.
And that brings us to a really empowering concept that the article emphasizes, the power of you. Embrace your age and experience not as limitations, but as assets.
I love that. It's about owning who you are, celebrating your journey, and recognizing that those years of living and learning make you a damn good catch.
And that confidence is magnetic. When you feel good about yourself, it shows. You radiate a certain energy that attracts people who are drawn to that authenticity.
So it's not just about finding someone to love. It's about loving yourself first and letting that love overflow into your interactions with others.
Beautifully said. And that self-love spills over into healthier relationship dynamics, too. The article really digs into this idea that personal growth is essential for finding and nurturing love, especially after 40.
Okay, I'm all ears. Break it down for us. How does working on yourself translate into finding love?
Well, the more self-aware you become, the better you understand your own needs, values, and goals. That clarity helps you identify partners who are genuinely compatible, not just superficially, but on a deeper level.
So it's about aligning your inner world with your outer world.
Yep.
You know what you want, and you're attracting people who resonate with that.
Exactly. And the article stresses that personal growth isn't just about introspection. It's about expanding your horizons, trying new things, and constantly evolving.
So step out of your comfort zone. Take that pottery class. Sign up for that salsa lesson. Travel to that place you've always dreamed of. Who knows who you'll meet along the way?
I love that. And it's not just about meeting new people. It's about becoming a more well-rounded, interesting, and engaged individual. That's attractive in itself.
It's like you're saying, hey, world, I'm not done growing. I'm not done learning. And I'm open to all the amazing possibilities that life has to offer.
And that openness extends to how you communicate with potential partners. The article really highlights the link between personal growth and healthy communication, which is the foundation of any successful relationship.
So talk to me about that. How does personal growth actually improve your communication skills?
When you're committed to personal growth, you're becoming more in tune with your own emotions, you're developing empathy for others, and you're learning how to express yourself more effectively.
So you're less likely to react impulsively. You're more thoughtful in your responses, and you're better able to articulate your needs and boundaries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You create a space for open and honest dialogue, where both partners feel heard, understood, and respected.
Which, let's be honest, is a game changer in any relationship. But especially when you're navigating the complexities of dating after 40.
Couldn't agree more. And here's the beautiful thing the article reminds us, that this personal growth journey isn't just about finding a partner, it's about enriching your life overall. Regardless of your relationship status.
It's about becoming the best version of yourself for yourself. And I think that's such a powerful message, especially for those who might be feeling pressure to find the one or worried that they're somehow running out of time.
It's about shifting the focus from external validation to internal fulfillment. When you're genuinely happy and fulfilled on your own, you radiate a different energy. And that attracts the right people into your life.
And when you do find that special someone, you're bringing your whole authentic self to the relationship, not just a version of yourself that you think they want to see.
Absolutely. And the article emphasizes that finding love after 40 isn't just about checking boxes. It's about finding someone who appreciates you for who you truly are, quirks and all.
I love that. It's about celebrating the uniqueness of each individual and finding someone who complements your strengths, understands your vulnerabilities, and supports your continued growth.
Beautifully said. And that brings us to another important point that the article touches on: the importance of embracing new possibilities and being open to the unexpected.
So be open to trying new things, meeting new people, and stepping outside of your comfort zone. You never know where love might be hiding.
Right. Sometimes the most unexpected encounters lead to the most profound connections. The article shares a story about a couple who met at a volunteer event for a local animal shelter. They weren't looking for love, but they found it while bonding over their shared passion for furry friends.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's a reminder that love can show up in the most unexpected places, when you least expect it.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of this journey. It's full of surprises, twists, and turns, and it's all part of the adventure.
Speaking of adventures, before we get too lost in the lovey-dovey vibes, let's take a quick detour to remind everyone to check out our website, secondactfirstdatepodcast.com.
Yes, absolutely. You'll find all sorts of resources there, including tips on creating a killer online dating profile, advice on navigating first dates, and a whole bunch of inspiring stories from people who have found love after 40.
We're building a community here, and we want you to be a part of it. So head over to the website, share your stories, ask your questions, and let's connect.
Now back to our deep dive into finding love after 40. We were talking about the importance of being open to new possibilities. And I think that leads us to another crucial point that the article emphasizes: the need to be patient and trust the process.
Okay, preach. Patience is definitely a virtue, especially in the dating world. It's so easy to get caught up in the swipe, swipe, swipe culture and feel like you're falling behind if you haven't met the one yet.
Right. But the article reminds us that finding love is a journey, not a destination. It's about enjoying the ride, learning from each experience, and trusting that the right person will come along when the time is right.
It's about letting go of that pressure to find the one.
Yeah.
And focusing on becoming the one for yourself.
Exactly. And when you're content with who you are and the life you're creating, love has a way of finding you.
It's like you're sending out a beacon of positivity and attracting people who are on the same wavelength.
I love that analogy. It's not about chasing love. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts love effortlessly.
And that's a beautiful thing. So for all of you out there who are over 40
Mm-hmm.
and feeling a little hesitant about dipping your toes back into the dating pool, remember this. You've got this.
You've got the wisdom, the experience, and the resilience to create a love story that's even more amazing than you ever imagined.
And we're here to support you every step of the way. Be sure to visit our website, secondactfirstdatepodcast.com, for more tips, resources, and inspiring stories.
And remember, it's never too late to write your own happily ever after.
Okay, so we left off talking about happily ever afters.
Right, and all the twists and turns along the way.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired by all this talk about embracing new possibilities and trusting the process.
Me too. It's a reminder that love isn't a finish line, it's a journey. And sometimes the most unexpected detours lead to the most beautiful destinations.
The article talks about this idea of intentionality, which really resonated with me. It's not just about hoping love will magically appear. It's about being proactive and creating opportunities for connection.
Right, you have to put yourself out there. And it's not just about dating apps, although those can be a helpful tool. It's about expanding your social circles, pursuing your passions, and engaging with the world around you.
The article gives some great examples like joining book clubs, taking workshops, volunteering. It's about finding activities that light you up, regardless of whether you meet someone special or not.
Exactly. When you're doing things you enjoy, you naturally attract people who share your interests and values. It's like you're creating a magnetic field for like-minded souls.
I love that analogy. It's not about forcing connections. It's about creating an environment where connections can flourish organically.
And that brings us to another important point that the article emphasizes: the importance of effective communication.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Communication is key in any relationship, but I think it's especially crucial when you're dating after 40. We've got more experience, more baggage, more layers to unpack.
Absolutely. And sometimes those layers can be a bit tricky to navigate. We might have walls up from past hurts, or we might be hesitant to be vulnerable.
But the article reminds us that vulnerability is actually the key to deeper connection. It's about being willing to open up, share our true selves, and risk getting hurt.
And that takes courage, especially after 40 when we might be a bit more guarded. But the rewards are worth it. When you find someone who accepts you for who you truly are, flaws and all of it, it's incredibly liberating.
The article also talks about the importance of active listening,
Hmm.
which I think is so underrated. It's not just about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about really hearing and understanding what the other person is saying, even if you don't agree with them.
It's about creating a safe space for open and honest dialogue, where both partners feel respected and validated. And it's about being willing to learn and grow from each other's perspectives.
And let's be real, sometimes that means having tough conversations. But the article emphasizes that conflict can actually be an opportunity for growth if you approach it with respect and a willingness to compromise.
Right. It's not about winning or losing. It's about finding a solution that works for both partners. And when you can navigate those challenges together, it strengthens the bond and deepens the connection.
So it sounds like the key to finding love after 40 is a combination of self-awareness, intentionality, vulnerability, and a whole lot of good communication.
I think that's a pretty accurate summary. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being open to learning, growing, and evolving alongside your partner.
And speaking of learning and growing, before we wrap up this episode, we wanted to remind everyone to check out our website, secondactfirstdatepodcast.com.
We've got a ton of resources, tips, and inspiring stories to help you navigate the world of love after 40. Plus, you can connect with our amazing community of listeners who are all on this journey together.
We love hearing from you, so come on over, share your stories, ask your questions, and let's keep this conversation going.
And remember, it's never too late to find love. So keep your hearts open, embrace the possibilities, and trust that the universe has a plan for you.
Thanks for listening to Second Act First Date, Over 40 and Awkward. We'll see you next time.